Thanks for stopping by. Today, I'm going to show you how to change the radio in your Hyundai Sonata. Let's get to it. This is the radio I'm putting in today. Yeah, it's a giant box, but unfortunately on the Sonatas, the way the dashboard is configured, you can't just buy a standard aftermarket radio. You need something that's going to deal with the shape of the center console and part of the dash. So that's why I got this. Let's see what's in the box. Oh, this is going to be a touch screen and it's Android based, and you can see it takes care of all your accoutrements and your air conditioning controls. Wow, and a ton of wires. And a book. Let's get to it. The radio that I got is a replacement for this style radio with the small LED screen. So if you have a different style radio, you'd have to get a different replacement. First step is to get this old one out. First, these two trim pieces need to come off either side, and they come off pretty easily if you just push out and kind of up. It'll come loose at the back. And then you just pull straight back. And then the same on this side. Now you're going to take your handy Klein 13-in-1 screwdriver and take out a Phillips screw on either side here. Could probably also use a 10mm or maybe an 8. Once you get those two screws out, the radio assembly should come out. It's going to be very resistant because it has all those clips on the back, but you just get at it, you'll get it out of there. Might need to get a screwdriver back here to help get her started. Next, there's a little plug at the top you need to undo. This goes to the clock. And you just push down on this little tab right here. And now you can get out the two plugs for the air conditioning. Same thing, there's a little tab here you push down. Wiggle that out, and another one here. I guess this has never been apart before. And then the last thing is this little gray plug here for the hazard lights. Next we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to take out. They're 8mm and they're a little too tight for a screwdriver. And the radio should come loose. Once you get this ground wire off that connects right here, you should be able to wiggle it forward enough to get to the rest of these. So you have this little yellow one, you slide this pink part back. Kind of strange, but... And then push down in the middle. Right here, the antenna. These you twist a little bit and then pull out. And then two more here with a push button in the center. So here's our old one, and here's the new one. We need to swap a few things out. First is going to be the hazard switch, and that's right here on the back. Little tab on the sides that you need to push in, and the switch will go forward. And we need to put that in here. There's two little screws to remove the cover plate. And then we just slide this in place and give it a little click. Fits nice. I'm not sure what this is. We call these poverty buttons where I come from. It means I'm too poor to have a car that uses a switch here. But if you have a switch here, same thing. You'll just pinch it, push it forward, and insert it here. Now the air conditioning controls. Looks like 4 screws. Little clip here at the bottom you have to lift up. And then here at the top, there's 4 of them. So you have 2 clips on this side, 2 on this side, and 1 at the bottom. Little difficult to get them all going at the same time. Just take your time, don't force it. And again, nice fit. Doesn't seem to be interfering with the buttons. The knobs are free to move. Looking good so far. Now we need to take these air conditioning vents off. Looks like 4 screws. Need a little bit longer screwdriver to get at this one. And then once you get the screws out, you have some clips here on the side. And it looks like one down right here. There we go. There's the 3rd clip right there. These vents went in fairly easily, just 4 screws on each side. Everything looks pretty good. The radio does slightly come beyond the vent here a little bit, but it doesn't interfere with their operation. They still work fine. First you have this wire with the USB port on it. I'm guessing you need to have access to this if you want to plug something into it, maybe to update the device, or maybe like an iPod or something like that. But this one gets plugged in right here. Then you have another one with the USB. This one has 6 terminals on it. That one gets plugged in right here. So I'm going to run these down into the console and have them come out there and figure out what they do once I get it together. This short one here is the antenna adapter. This thing right here connects where it says GPS. So what I'm going to do with this is run it out underneath the console, and if I need to have this hooked up, I'll run it underneath the carpeting out onto the deck lid. That's kind of short. I don't think it's going to work like that. Well, we'll see what I'm going to do with it. This one plugs in and it screws on, kind of like a coax connector for your cable. And you have the microphone. That you have this other packet with all these RCA connectors, and one of them's labeled mic, and that plugs in there. And then this Goes right here. This one here I think is for if you have a backup camera installed, and that one goes at the end. Now we have this crazy contraption. One goes here, and the black one goes over here. And the two car plugs are going to plug in right here. All right, this microphone, I'm going to attempt to feed it through from this panel over to the radio using this end, and then I'll run the wire for this microphone itself up here behind the weather stripping. So you got 3 clips that you have to pull out, and then these kind of hook in, and the rubber goes over the front of this. Not going to be able to get you a shot, but I need to take this end and feed it through here and get over to where the radio is. It's actually pretty easy to get the wire over to the radio. Now I just have to kind of tuck this behind here. And it's pretty easy to shove it behind the headliner. Right, this right here is the GPS antenna, and for right now I have it here, and I just tucked it in here and ran it through here back to the radio, just like I did for the microphone. If this ends up being a problem, I'll be able to just pull it out from here and run it up higher and somehow feed it out and stick it to the roof of the car. And here's where I fed the 2 wires through, down low in this hole here. Don't get it in the way of your air conditioning ducts. Okay, these are those 2 USB wires, and I'm going to try feeding them through near the center console. I think if I just stick them through here, I should be able to grab them without taking any more of the car apart. All right, that wasn't too bad. I was able to get the 2 USBs around underneath the console. Everything still works. And I have the 2 connectors here. And just as a reminder what everything is, this gray one is for your hazard lights. These 2 big ones at the bottom are for your air conditioning controls. These are the 2 USBs that go right here. And then the 2 car connectors go here. I'm not even going to need the antenna adapter because it can plug in right here. So far the trickiest part was getting all the wires for the radio up and over the bracket where the air conditioning goes. Let's see if I can get this in here. That went in pretty easy. Put the 2 screws in and then we'll fire it up. First thing, let's make sure this air conditioning works. That Android CarPlay replacement radio for the Sonata fit great. Everything worked fine. The only issue I did have is the airbag light on the dash stayed on, so I had to pull the radio back and right here on the factory cover, take the clock and the airbag lights out and stick it behind the radio. There was plenty of room, and plug that 1 connector in that I didn't use, and the light on the dash went out. So I guess it needs those indicator lights for the airbag system to work perfectly. Unfortunately, I can't show you any screenshots or how it sounds because I'll get a copyright strike for using somebody else's music, but I'll tell you what, thing works great. And putting the GPS antenna in the corner of the dash worked fine. As soon as I clicked on maps, it showed that I was right at my house in the driveway, so everything works fine on it. I made a phone call. The sound is great, and the speakers sound fine the way it is. So if you're interested in upgrading your radio on your Sonata, definitely give it a look. I'll put a link in the description down below. Thanks for watching.